Good morning, everyone. Let us start with today's Sunday morning's meditation session. We will be practicing meditation for a duration of an hour, and then we will be moving on to our discussion and the building up of our understanding of the Vipassana Ñānas. And today we will be focusing on the second Vipassana Ñāna, as we have completed the first one during our last session. So let us now get into, or come into, our rather meditating positions. Your feet firmly in front of you, your hands resting on your lap, closer to your groin area. Taking a deep breath in, breathing out, relaxing the body deeper and deeper. Relax. As you relax the body, coming into the present moment, putting aside the past and the future, and allow yourself to find bliss and tranquility within this presence, here and now. Here and now. Being aware of the calmness and the bliss that overtakes the being as you put aside the past and the future and just become onto the present, where everything is far more soothing and far more easier to be with. It doesn't hassle the mind. And using or basing your attention and being within the present. Gently guide your attention towards the breath at the tip of the nostrils. Or the abdomen. Observe the air element. Observe the air element. Without any attachment, without any need to manipulate or change the breath in any way. Simply observe. 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 Observe the motions of the breath, making use of each and every moment. And observing the breath. Observe. Observe, observe, finding a balance between the different indriyas, allowing you to stabilize yourself in awareness, samadhi. Observe, observe. Gently guiding your attention to observe the breath, the whole body of the breath within the body itself, arising and passing away, all the while noting the impermanence, the suffering and non-self attributes of all the sankharas that arise. Observe, observe. Should the mind wander, use the breath as an anchor to guide the mind back to the object, to observe, to settle within the present. By taking a deep breath in, guiding your attention back to the object, letting go of the breath, relaxing, settling into the present. Observe, observe. Gently, gently. Observing the breath, continuing through letting go. Cultivate the skill of just being, the skill of being without rising of the need to do, being within the present, observing, observe, observe. gently guiding your attention to now recollect the aspects of the meditation practice. The ups and downs, the observations, the insights, the feeling, without any sense of self. Simply just observe, just know, learn from the experience that you have had. Recollect the aspects of the meditation practice. Gently taking a deep breath in, filling up the chest as you gently let go of the breath, relaxing the whole body, Taking another deep breath in, relaxing, letting go, letting go, letting go. And becoming aware of your surroundings as you take another deep breath in and gently opening your eye as you let go of the breath. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. All right, everyone. Now, during our last session, which happened, I think, about 2 weeks back, and the recording of which is available on our YouTube channel, we went over Namarupa Paricheda Ñāna, or the knowledge of mind and body, discerning mind and body. Now today, we will be going over the second Ñāna, knowledge, in Pali known as Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna, the knowledge of discerning conditionality. Right, the knowledge of discerning conditionality. In accordance with the Sapta Vishuddhi, the 7 parts of purification, the first Namarupa Paricheda Ñāna falls under, we discussed this, Ditti Vishuddhi, the purification of view. The Ñāna that we are discussing today, which is Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna and Sammasana Ñāna and Udayabhaya Ñāna, falls under Kanka Vitarana Vishuddhi, the purification by overcoming doubt. Now that is an important part in understanding what Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna exactly does, what it truly does. Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna. Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna. What is Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna? Now, over the Abhidhamma, we are going over conditionality. We understand through the sutras and the Abhidhamma that we have gone over that all sankharas play itself out or come to be through cause and effect. Through cause and effect. Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna is essentially understanding cause and effect. Understanding cause and effect. How? By discerning conditionality. By discerning conditionality between cause and effect. For example, during the moment or during the time of meditation of practicing anapanasati, we breathe, or the breathing is an automated function. The breathing is an automated function, so the breathing process happens, and the mind notices the breathing, right? The breathing function is a bodily function. The noticing function is a mental function. Earlier, or a person who is not open to this process or understands the intricacies of the process, I am breathing, and the I am breathing comes under the mind, which now this whole process seems like one whole I am breathing process. I am doing this. But when it comes to this Ñāna, it is an understanding with clarity and distinct differentiation between the process of breathing and the process of noticing. Do you understand? The process of breathing and process of noticing. Now, this is not a process that you understand through logic, reasoning. It is not so. It is not an applied process. This is a process, or this understanding, the Ñāna happens as the process happens. Do you understand? Because we could study a document of Dhamma or listen to what we are discussing here today, and we could apply it to our meditation and then imagine, I have this Ñāna now. But no, you can't. We can't do that. Because if we know anything at all, that is the fact that Vipassana cannot be forced. It should be allowed. The circumstances for its blooming, the foundations that will support its cultivation can be created by us, but we can never force it. The Vipassana aspect would give us the insight to understand and distinctively, with clarity, understand the differences between these processes. For example, the process of seeing. The I is one, the object is another, the process of seeing is another. I, object, seeing, and the calculation upon seeing is another process. Now, in the process of seeing, we distinctively differentiate between four essential processes, which at first we might have understood as one process, isn't it? This is Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna. This is Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna. So when we observe the breath, or as we observe the breath, the person who observes is one, or the process of observation is one. The object is another. And then the calculation upon observing is another. So now we would even be able to define between one mental process to another. This is essentially not seeing the consciousness. This is in seeing the process which unfolds. In understanding processes, then we have two areas to then focus upon, or understand rather, which is, because of the body, a mental reaction can arise. Cause, rupa, effect, mind. Understood? That's one. The other could be mind. Maybe we can go with an example. What is body as a cause, and then mind as arising? For example, breathing itself. Right? Breathing itself. Right? Or let's say the process of temperature. Temperature would be felt through the body, and because of that, the mind would react to that specific temperature. Right? Now, the other process would be because the cause being the mind, the effect being the body. The volition to stand up, the volition to sit down, the volition to start meditating, and the effect being the manipulation of the body to enact what was adhered in the volition. I want to run and then start running. The wanting, the volition to run was mind, the running was body. Discernment between these two, the mind and the body and the mind, again taking away the sense of self from the whole sort of process that we might have earlier seen as one, taking away the self, where now we see it in a very mechanical manner, where cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect, now unfolding with every moment. Now unfolding with every moment. Always remember, when this jnana arises, it arises with the motion. Do you understand? The jnana has nothing to do with, for example, now, as you are listening, you could think back and then apply it to your experience. Yes, that would enable your understanding of what the jnana does, the knowledge does. But that is essentially not the knowledge. The knowledge will arise with awareness. In that moment, the process occurs. What does that mean? Yoniso manasikara, affecting sati. And with the sati, the prajna is now different. Yoniso manasikara was always sati, arises as a trihetuka kusala, because its inclination is toward vipassana, right? So trihetuka kusala would always be present the moment that you sit down for meditation with knowledge, as we already know. Because of this, sati now sort of cultivating and developing itself into something higher and more profound than it was earlier. Now we are able to create or facilitate the development of prajna. The prajna unfolds in motion of, or in process of, yoniso manasikara, and now the yoniso manasikara develops based upon the sati. That is how now the way that I see or observe as the process is unfolding is different to what it was before. Do you understand? So the jnana would give or operate through the yoniso manasikara, which is of the present moment. Of the present moment. And we know this why? Because we've already done chitta viti. Right? We know where the manasikara comes, isn't it? Right? And within every chitta viti, we will have manasikara. We will have that manodwara vajana, where it will sort of determine yoniso manasikara or ayoniso manasikara. So when the jnana develops, and how does the jnana? You might think, okay, how? If one consciousness arises in one moment, then how am I supposed to observe and also get this jnana? The process, the jnana comes through the consciousness process. That is why it is not an applied process. If it is applied, it doesn't become jnana. Do you understand? Is that clear, everyone? Now, any questions? Hold on, you can unmute yourself now if you have any questions to ask. Yes, Shriyani.
Bhante, what is Bahu Hetuka?
Bahu Hetuka. Bahu means many.
Yes.
Hetuka means Hetu, causes.
Yes. Yes.
Bahu Hetuka.
Yeah.
Right? So when we are, for example, talking about Anyamanya Paccaya, or when we spoke about being the cause and effects being supported by multiple factors to give result one, and that one result also being a part of a network of factors which gives results to another.
Yeah.
That is referred to by the word of Bahuhetuka. Right?
Oh, I see.
So now,
It is a chain of hetu. It's a chain.
If we put it into a chain, now for example, Shani, if we put it into a chain, we are creating an unnecessary connection between them as well. It is not a chain. It is simply, for example, the comfort I have in this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
What are the hetus for that comfort?
Mm-hmm.
A pleasant class would be, of course, one.
Mm-hmm.
Some friendly faces would be another.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The temperature would be another. Was the coffee in the morning would be another. Whether I'm hungry or not would be another. Right? Is there something going on around the temple that has disturbed me would be another. Now you see.
So I mean, it happens all together. Something like when you're...
they simply exist on their own reasoning, but they do also condition the life force of another. Right?
No.
For example, the weather has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
The weather has nothing to do with me. However, the weather plays a part in what I'm feeling today.
Yes. Yes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
Right? So the weather exists not to make me comfortable or not to make me uncomfortable.
Yes.
But simply in the weather existing, my life force is affected.
So how I still don't understand how the Bahu Hetuka
the hetus exist by their own right.
Yeah. Understand. Yes.
The hetus exist by their own right. For example, the sun does not exist to give us life.
Yeah.
In the sun existing, we can have life on earth.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right? It is important to understand their existence or the existence of those factors are not to sustain us, but we sustain on our own right because of the existence of those factors.
Right. So that means, Bhante, when you are meditating, Bahuhetuka is not that important at that meditating time, because what I thought was when you are meditating, if you feel the cold air in your body, at the same time you are sitting on the cushion, the hardness, I thought all of those factors coming together, that is what it is called Bahuhetuka. No,
Bahuhetuka refers to, I mean, you can refer or use that explanation to explain what is happening, of course, but Bahuhetuka simply refers to the nature that one effect, that a particular effect is not the effect of one condition, but many conditions.
Oh, understand now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Understand.
Yeah.
That. Thank you.
The selfish aspect of it would give us the understanding, or we might sort of, in a very deluded manner, we might take the understanding that these effects are our own. That is where it is wrong. The effects exist. Cause and effect. The causes exist by their own nature, by their own reasoning. But in them being there, our lives are different.
Okay, Understand, Bhante.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yes. Now I
Yeah.
know.
It is like, for example, let's take an area where the roads are not very developed.
Yeah.
Right, where the roads are not very developed. And then an area where the roads are very good. Now you understand. The road has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
I am not the person responsible in making roads or anything of the sort.
Yeah.
But the road would determine whether I have a car or whether I go by foot or whether I have a cycle. Isn't it?
Understand. Yes.
But it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
The road did not or does not exist because of me. It exists, and that determines what kind of standard of living I will have. Do you understand?
Yes. Yeah.
So that is a selfless aspect of Yonisamansakara. The avidya coming up, we might think, or we might even take the road personally, or the sun personally, or the winter, or the weather personally. That is where we break it, take away the deluded self aspect, and realize this is nothing to do with me. It is just the way it is.
Yeah. Understand. Yes, Bhante. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah. Yes, Hemali.
Bhante, this is the experience I got today. When you get the subtle breath, I saw some small dust particles like thing, and then it disappears. Then I realized, Bhante, I am observing, but that disappears, no nimitta, and the knowledge of observing and also the present moment is, I don't know whether it's correct, Bhante, your advice.
It makes sense. It makes sense. The dust particles would be upakleshas. And you will have awareness over it. Simply, Hemali, just continue.
Yeah. Is it okay just to watch?
No, don't. You have something to watch.
Just observe.
You don't need to observe all of that. You have something to observe already, the original meditation object. It might be very enticing and sort of seductive in a way to watch, to see what happens. You can try it for yourself, for your experience. Of course, you can try it, watch it and see, but it'll not really do much for you. So what should be done is to not focus on it. It will continue to arise and pass away. But what you do is you focus upon the original meditation object and keep on going.
When it disappears, I know it disappears, and the present moment and the knowledge, is that okay?
It is fine. You will know that I feel like you have placed a little bit too much of importance upon this, right? In your meditation. Just pull yourself back in a bit. There's something, you have an object, focus on what that object is. All of these other tamashas that will arise, which will arise, not only this, there will be a hell of a lot more that will arise in the future as well. But if we go through all of this, remember, when it's a upaklesha, its restlessness is one of its primary attributes. When the restlessness is an attribute and we are observing something which is restless, what happens is the mind will become restless. When the mind becomes restless, we lose the ability to focus upon something which is stable. Because the restless nature is that we want now more and more and more, right? So the upakleshas will arise and it will pass away. Keep to the object, right? You don't even need to observe the arising and the passing away of the upaklesha. Just keep to the object. Right? Just keep to the object. Now, with upaklesha, coming back to the Ñāna. Thank you, Hemamali. Right? Let us know how it goes next week, yeah, as well. How you progress. Now, coming back. when we go through the Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna and we start sort of experiencing the Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna with distinct clarity upon cause and effect, the mind and the body relationship, what arises with mind as its primary factor, with mind as its primary cause, and with mind as its primary cause and body as its effect, or mind and mind, or body and body, whatever it is, if cause and effect, as we observe this and as we sort of draw clarity upon this subject, what will happen is that the meditator would often experience different feelings which are painful, feelings which are pleasurable, more painful than pleasurable, because remember that it will arise in the form of an upaklesha, right, to disturb the meditator, to distract the meditator, right? So all of these feelings will arise, and it is nothing to be feared in any way. Actually, the arising of the pain will help you far more than ever that you would ever imagine, because when the pain arises, it gives you a very gross object. Use this gross object to differentiate between the pain and the mind. Now answering the question, how do I detach myself from the pain? Do you understand? This is how you detach yourself from the pain. Now, when you do with Paccaya Pariggaha Ñāna, when you do that, immediately, instantaneously, you understand that the mind is far more powerful than the body. Now, it is almost like an upgrade, and it is quite surprising how you can just pick up this skill as, it's like, just like you would go to a library and pick up a book or something, right? And now with this skill, every pain that you arise, you have two decisions: observe the pain and stay with the pain, or go back to the object. You can make those two decisions now. And because of the Ñāna, you will always pick the latter, because it's a Ñāna, Trihetukai. Because of the Ñāna, you will always pick the latter, which is to go back to the object, to stay with the Vipassana object. So now you will have the ability to put away all those distractions at your command, because you understand how it arises, the causes and effects, and how it can also be put away. Do you understand? The delusion that we hold that it is beyond our control, especially this, is now sort of taken away, and a light is shed to understand, it arises because I've allowed it to arise with the importance I place to that pain with the mind. Do you understand? Right? And during this time of meditation, various shapes will appear as nimittas. It can be, different visuals of it, can be Shraddha-based visuals. It can be a Chaitya or a Buddha statue or a monk. It can be a man, a house, a tree, something will appear, right? Different visuals will appear. And when these visuals appear, it is important that the meditator realizes even here, now the fact of the visual arising and the noticing is properly understood. Do you understand? Earlier when the visual arose, you noticed it, but you did not notice that you noticed it. Now you notice that you noticed it, and you notice the fact that you engage the mind from that noticing of the visual back to the object. That also you notice. Do you understand? Remember, if you're taking down notes, write this in red. This is not implied. This arises. Allow this to arise naturally. Do not bother yourself by trying to sort of enforce this understanding upon you. It will not happen. Right? Allow this to flourish, to bloom naturally. Do you understand, everyone? Right? Any questions? You can just unmute yourself if you do.
Bhante.
Yes.
Sujata. Bhante.
Yes, Sujata, yes.
Yes, Bhante. Now you spoke of the 3 visuals earlier. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
There are 2. The third, one of the visuals is always is it nature always? Leaving alone the 2 that we see and we feel or whatever. And then nature comes in it all the time, does it?
No, it doesn't literally have to. By nature, do you mean nature as in the greenery, the trees, the birds, that
When
kind
the conditions and everything?
Yeah, it doesn't have to, right? And these visuals are different from it is different from spectacle visuals, right? They come in the form of an essence which gives you a certain picture of something.
Yes, that's right. Yes, Bhante.
Right. Which gives you, so it is not like a clear photograph or a video of something, but it comes sort of mind-made in a very sort of different manner, where that also has a sense of essence, where it gives you a sense of message. This is a tree, this is a wind, this is water, right? So nature does not have to be a part of it. It can be a part of it. It doesn't have to be a part of it, or it's not a part of it all the time. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. I noticed some kind of visuals. I was wondering what they were. Rocks, rocky sort of structures, I could say. So I was wondering where I am. It just appeared, and now that you spoke of that, it came back to my mind. Bhante, thank you.
Well, I think it will become all the more clearer as we sort of continue with our meditation.
Yes. Thank you, Bhante.
Yeah.
No.
All right. And the same advice I would give to you, Sujata, that I gave to Himali. Just don't focus on it. Just focus on the breathing or whatever object of meditation that it is that you're practicing at that moment.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you.
Lovely. So this is all the time that we have today, everyone. If you have any more questions, come back with those questions next week. And we will be very happy. I would be very happy to answer. I'm going to put out an extract of the Ñāna on the WhatsApp group, so you can read up a bit about it as well. All right, so you can follow it up. So take care, everyone, and I will see you all tomorrow for the Abhidhamma class. Teruvan Sarna, and have a
Teruvan Sarna, Bhante. Teruvan Sarna. Thank you.